So lately you've been talking about what you want in partners. Would you be kind enough to tell us what that is?
So by partners, we're talking like
Business partners, life partners,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you kind of a realization I had. When I was young, I used to make this face. And there's pictures of me making this face, and people would say, "Why are you always so grouchy?" People would just over and over again, "What's wrong? Why are you so grouchy?" And so I think this kind of got me away from that face. So I've been really reflecting on myself lately, and there was a point a couple months ago where I found myself in deep reflection, or not even deep reflection, but like deep focus. I was really focusing on something, and I've been on this kick of like sensory cues. What's your body doing when you're feeling this? What noises are being heard? Sensations that cause you to do certain things. So I was making this face, and I was like, I want to know what I look like when I'm making this super focused face. And I went and looked in the mirror, and immediately started having flashbacks to like photos of me, like people have taken of me like from a distance or up close, where I'm making this face, and they use that photo to describe me as a grumpy person, as proof that I'm a grumpy person. But it wasn't that. It was focus. What's wrong? That would take me out of my focus. You know, people coming to me and saying, "What's wrong? Why are you so grumpy?" Now I'm talking about how I'm not grumpy, rather than this thing that was going through my head. You know, getting away from that face because people were giving me so much grief over it. So I'm going to explain now. I'm just super focused right now when I'm making this face, and I don't want people around me who are like pulling me out of that. What's wrong? You know, why are you so grumpy? Like pushing the grumpy thing on me. But I've also noticed too, though, is it's always people that aren't doing much. So it might be like a reaction, like they don't like being around focused people. They don't like being around thoughtful people. Because when you're extremely focused, extremely thoughtful, you're insightful, you begin to see some things, and you begin to do some things that bring people out of their comfort zones.
So, to clarify, the face you're making right now is your deeply focused face, correct?
I mean, maybe. Do I look?
You've got the
creases there.
Yeah, the creases like some people get when they're upset or angry, but...
Yeah, and it's just my focused face. Like, when I'm focused, this is the face I make, I guess. Like, I feel something different right now. I feel... Maybe it's focused on like trying to explain this, but so there's that. Like always like no, it's fine. I'm just thinking. I don't want to have to keep doing that. And I find myself always reaching down, but getting pulled down instead of pulling them up. Right. So instead of coming up and being focused too. They're pulling me down into, unsure footing and deep waters that they just don't want to escape from, it seems. So yeah, I'm always feeling like I'm reaching down and trying to pull them up, or even myself. Like I'm trying to go that way, I'm not trying to dwell here in this spot where we can't get over an obstacle in front of us. And it's so many times it's not even like a real obstacle. So they're like, people, they just want to stop. And they would find out if we would just go. Take my hand if you have to. And we're going that way. It's like not as hard as everybody.
Like they want to they create their own fake problems.
Yeah. And then you stop to help them out over, and that's a habit, right? Stopping to talk about bullshit is a habit.
Yeah.
And so if you're around people that always want to talk about bullshit, that'll be what you'll be stuck in that. Except for maybe I won't be talking about, I'll be stuck arguing about how it's all bullshit rather than Like, I can sit here and argue with you about, no, really, we can get over this obstacle. Like, no, really. No, really. I mean, we can. And then all day arguing about, or I could just, you know,
And
if you want to be stuck there, be stuck there. Oftentimes, too, you'll find that, and you, my children, have seen this. I would do that to you. I'd be like, okay, fine. You want to stand here all day, stand here, and I would go. And then what do you know? Next thing you know, you'd be right behind me. You know, because the example that I'm not going to sit here and bullshit about things that aren't real.
because what you choose becomes a habit, and then that habit becomes a behavior. So if you
Yes.
stand there and argue, it's going to happen more and more until it just happens every single time.
Yes. So this kind of thing extends in another way too. So maybe I'm not, you know, like really scowling and see, that would be a sensory cue. So now I'm equating focus with aggression and anger, and that's not what I feel. Being super jacked up is a symptom of focus. Right?
Yeah.
You get focused, and then
You get hyped
you
about
see the way, and it can be done. We can do it.
You just go.
And so you just muster your energy and move forward. But those same people that want you to stop and hold their hand while they come up or drag you down instead of coming up, when you come in like that, that's another thing. Oh man, what's wrong with you? You're on drugs, all this shit, like all this negative shit. And it's like, no man, I'm trying to get shit done today. I'm wired for action right now, you know? And so I need people around me, and I think we all need people around us who allow you to be wired for action.
Yeah, don't ask like what's wrong or what you're taking or anything. Just
Yeah.
let it go.
Or, you know, people say I'm super intimidating too, because like they'll say, let's get something done, and I'll come in fucking, again, wired for action. Okay, like let's get this done. And maybe they didn't really mean it, which is often the case. They say let's get this done, but they don't really mean it, and that's where that intimidation comes from, because it's like, oh, now I feel like I gotta get it done. Now I feel like I'm being forced. That stems from a negative reality. But people are afraid to get jacked up because who they are starts coming out, and they're afraid of making mistakes or tripping or whatever, or stumbling. But we got to allow for that too. We all got to allow for each other and ourselves to make mistakes and stumble. And that's when things start really feeling free. I mean, for me, I feel really light lately. Like the more I let go of other people's stuff, the more light I become. Literally light. Like I feel more. I'm already a dainty guy, but I feel more dainty. You know, I feel more light. My footwork is better. My reaction times are better. My brainstorming sessions are better. And my body literally feels lighter. And I think that may be where the word enlightenment comes from, is just letting shit go. I was actually reading about Anthony. It's a guy named Anthony. And just the more he let go, the more Jesus shunned down on him. So like, which it really resonates with me, because at one point he's attacked by the devil sends all these animals after him, demons in the shapes of animals. So he sends bears, he sends snakes, first he sends people, so people come and beat him down while he's out in the woods, focusing. He has great friends around him that allow Anthony to be Anthony, and in return he brings a glorious life when he's around. You know, when he comes around, life is good. So that's through focus. So he goes out into the woods, and the devil sends like brigands, like brutes out there, and they beat him down. They beat him almost to death, and he accepts it because this is the life he's chosen. He understands that he's weird, and that he's out in the woods alone, and that people are hostile towards his strength. So the devil sends these guys, they beat him down nearly to death, but he has friends that come around, and a friend comes and sees him and takes him to town, and everybody just helps take care of him and brings him back to strength. But again, he's Anthony, he has his focus and his meditation, and he's like, okay, I'm feeling better. He goes back out to the woods again and does the same thing, and like more and more blessings on him while he's out there. And so the devil's like, oh man, like we can't have somebody feeling this blessed living in a cave, you know, like we must prove to this person that we can make life horrible. Life can be horrible. A lot of people will try to tell you. A woman told me that the other night. She's like, life is pain and this and that and other thing. I'm like, I don't know if that's true. Maybe for you, but it's not true for me. Pain can be turned off. Pain can be used in positive ways. I don't know. We're gonna have to define pain. Like when we talk about pain, we're gonna have to define it, because I understand the emotions, but I don't see them as pain. If that makes sense. I understand there's anger. I understand there's sadness. All these things, but I don't see them as pain. I don't necessarily know how to describe them right now, but pain is not the word for me. And maybe I'm misunderstanding other people. But I don't know. I think they misunderstand themselves often. But anyway, so the devil's like, no, we're going to prove to this guy that life is horrible. And he sends demons in the shape of like snakes and bears and just in like wild dogs. And they come and they ravage him again, to the point of death. And he's saying to them, like, look how weak you are. And this is what I want for my kids. This is where I'm going to get intense. He's like, look how weak you are, that you all must gang up against me. And you still can't beat me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still couldn't break his spirit. People, animals, the elements couldn't break his spirit.
Like, saw a meme the other day on Facebook about this guy. He's in hell. And, you see there's, like, two of, like, the Satan's minions or whatever. Or demons looking at him as he's in hell pushing this mining cart. And they're like, we just can't get to this guy. Because as he's pushing, they put the little musical notes above his lips that are open to signify him whistling like a happy tune as he's pushing the minecart in hell.
Yes. And we just can't get to this guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And then Jesus shines down on him. And like the way I would describe it, so Jesus was almost in awe. That's because he asked Jesus, why didn't you come help me? And he's like, I was watching how strong you are. So even Jesus was like almost in awe of this man because of his strength to endure, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I want for people. That's what I'm getting at.